Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world right now and watching this. I'm nobody special, so you can call me nobody. My name's Wayne, but really I am nobody. I'm not any famous YouTuber. I'm not a professional sports guy. I'm not anything. I'm just like everybody. I'm not anything different. Just a regular Joe trying to get ahead in this world until I learned this. I learned something. And what I'm about to share with you, I got a message. What I'm about to share with you is so profound, it's going to change everything. If you get it, if it resonates with you. Because absolutely nothing is as it appears. But I'm not going to go start preaching any kind of religion. I don't have a lot of need for religious institutions. But what I'm going to share with you is still going to go so against everything you believe that it'd be easily rejected. You can certainly toss it away and roll your eyes and say, or that's interesting and move on. But if you really get it and you take to heart what you're about to learn from me, you unlock a magnificent power. Well, let me just get into it, all right? In a nutshell, we are spirits having a human experience. And I can prove it, and I will prove it right here in this video. I'm not going to use anything more than grade 6 science at the most. So if you have a problem with grade 6 level science, then maybe you might still have a hard time with this. But if you have at least grade 6 level science, this is going to make perfect sense. And what I'm going to show you is why and how and for what purpose, maybe not all in this video, but at least give you some very basic facts that are going to make you hopefully have an aha moment and want to learn more, because this is really just an introductory level to, I don't know, 5-year university course kind of thing. So, you be patient because you are starting at ground zero, or at some level close to ground zero, I would think. And please don't make the mistake that so many people do make, is like, oh yeah, I already know all this, because we're going to look at all this from a different perspective. That's when my life changed, when I learned how to do what's called lateral thinking. Lateral thinking was coined by a now good friend, but long gone, deceased, Edward de Bono, Dr. Edward de Bono, who taught me, and a few other associates I met along the way, has taught me about lateral thinking. What lateral thinking is, it's an ability to be able to look at any situation or any problem from a different perspective, to get a better understanding, a better view, a bird's eye view of whatever it is you're looking at. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at everything you believe in, everything I believed in, everything everyone believes in, from a different perspective, because it's been programmed into us, what we believe. We are not who we think we are. This is not what we think it is. Now, I'm not saying this is all an illusion. This is all real. But the illusion's in our head of what we think all this is. And here it is right now. I'm going to show you with the grade 6 science to give you enough to think about. And then if you like what you're hearing and seeing, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything. I'm new at this. I'm just going to get the message out. That's my real purpose here. I'm not looking to be a huge YouTuber or famous or rich or any of that stuff. I got what I need already. I'm perfectly happy with bringing this information to you. That's, my purpose here. And so with that, let's get into it. All right. Now we're going to review some very basic stuff. Like I said, grade 6 science. So don't just think this is blah, blah, nothing, because that's the way we were programmed to believe it is. I'm an engineer, and like, you don't know me from, maybe never know me at all, and maybe this is the first time you watch a video of mine. So you have no reason to believe me, and that's why I have to use grade 6 science and facts that you already know and believe, in order to be able to show you and open your eyes to how blind we've all been. Because we've all missed it. It's been staring at us in plain sight my entire life. And I'm an electronics engineer in education. I took electronics engineering here in Ontario at Durham College. But reality, as we perceive it, is all wrong. And I don't know whether it's intentionally that way, been programmed into it. I kind of suspect it has been, or whether it was just an oversight that we just miss. So let's get into it, all right? So first thing I want to talk about is light. You know, light fills the universe. In fact, when you think about it, everything I see is reflecting light. I can't look directly at the sun without doing damage, so I can't look directly at the source of light, but everything I see is reflecting the light. And that's kind of profound in itself, because that's our reality. Our reality is reflected light. We live in a reality of reflected light. The only reason why you see me is I'm reflecting the light off of me to my camera. And quite honestly, I had to work around a little bit around on the lighting to get it just right. I mean, you know, otherwise with no light, we see nothing. It's black. So first thing we have to understand is we live in a reality of reflected light. So second thing, and actually let's go even one step further with that. The unusual thing is we can't see the light unless it is reflecting off something. Like the space between me and this camera has light in it all the time. We can't see it until I put my hand up. Okay, there's my hand. Now, yeah, there's light there. I take my hand away, light's still there. It didn't go away too. The light's still there, and it's there all the time. And you can say that about, you know, the entire universe, because when we look at the stars at night, we know they are like astronomically great distances away, like numbers unbelievably large distances, but yet we can still see the light of that star. So that means all the space between that star and here on Earth, us here on Earth, me in particularly when I'm looking up, and you in particularly when you're looking up, is filled with that light. Because if we were able to travel towards that star, we'd never lose sight of it. There's nothing that's going to blind us that's in between, because if there was, we wouldn't see that star from here on Earth. So the entire line of sight is filled with that light. Now you multiply that by quadrillions of stars and galaxies, and it's pretty easy to see that the entire universe is one spectrum, unified field of light. Now, when I talk about light, just getting back to grade 6, maybe a little bit more than that, I'm not sure, but I have to look at it. But when I talk about light, light's just the visual light that we are in our reality of is very narrow. If you were to look at the entire spectrum of light, we can include everything from gamma rays to X-rays and ultraviolet rays and all of them, right? So when I refer to light, I'm talking about all of it. And we only get to see a small little sliver of it. And even that little sliver is only when it's reflected off something. So it's really remarkable to think of it this way. But it's true, it's simple. There's not a single person in the entire planet, no matter how smart you are, that can deny that. This is all reflected light. And that's what we live in, is reflected light. But that's not even profound. That's just scratching the surface. There's three things I want to show you. That we live in a reality of reflected light. What's reflected in the light is empty space, and we perceive it all through our imagination. So we discussed already the reflected light part. We understand that, no doubt. Now, my second part, which was that what's reflecting this light is empty space. Let's deal in with that. I'm going to Google here, and I'll put it up beside me. What is the percentage of an atom that's empty space? And look, what do you get? An atom is 99.99% empty space. Sometimes you'll get 99.9999996% empty space. Anything close to 100%, that close, let's just call it 100%. All right? Atoms are 100% empty space. So how does this be? You know, we live in this reality of reflected light, and we think it's empty space between us and this reality of reflected light. But yet, what's behind the reflected light is empty space. So this reflected light is like a canvas, a very thin layer of paint separating empty space on both sides. It's remarkably. Now, as ridiculous as this sounds, prove it wrong. Anybody, I haven't done this yet, but maybe if I see encouragement in the comments, please comment. I'll do my best to answer your questions and help you develop this further as we move along, because this is just like I say, if I was to equate this to a university 7-year doctor or lawyer or whatever course that would require 7 years of study, we're on day 1, year 1. Because there's a lot here. But it's all simple. It's all and it's simple once it all ties together. So anyways, let me just carry on here, all right? We So we have this empty space with this thin layer of light. The third thing, in the Google search here below, the 99.99%, you'll see has an argument that atoms are not empty space, and then it goes into a long scientific, convoluted, really stupid explanation as to why not. And most people, especially people that have no engineering or no science or understanding greater than even probably grade 12, would maybe think at some point they must be right. It's not empty space, and Wayne's wrong, and blah blah blah. Nobody's wrong. It's all right. So you got to look at that, and it's in the conclusion that you find that they're saying it is empty space now, right? And then I'll explain that to you here in a second. So we live in a reality of reflected light. What's reflected light is empty space. And then the third thing I said is that we perceive it all through our imagination. Yeah, okay, Wayne. Our consciousness is imagination. And I'm going to prove to you right now too, all right? I'm going to close my eyes. I look around my room, okay? And I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to imagine my room just the way it is. And I can tell you, okay, I got a fridge over here, a freezer actually, a second freezer, and I've got a table and chairs over here, and I got the camera in front of me, and I got two windows and the sun shining. I can describe it, right? But it's not that vivid. I'm drawing information from memory. My imagination is drawing information from memory and creating a pretty good replication of what's around me, even though my eyes are closed, right? Then I open my eyes, and wham, it's all perfectly clear, vivid, colorful, and real, and everything, right? What happened there? Did my imagination suddenly turn off, and some other yet to be discovered faculty of the mind that puts visual images in your mind turn on? No, it's still your imagination. And believe me, even though I see the walls and the camera, and you're seeing the walls, and whatever you're seeing around you is over there, the image is being created up here because that's the way it works. Our five senses bring in data from our surroundings, and our imagination recreates the image in real time. It's like live streaming in our minds. And the only difference is whether we close off our senses, close my eyes, plug my ears, do what they call sensory deprivation, right? Will my imagination show itself even more so, because that, hey, I'm isolated from everything, but I can picture it, I can see it in my head, my imagination's good, I can do that. But what we're not realizing is when your eyes are open, what's processing all this information? It's still your imagination. That's the point. So get a load of this. We live in a reality of reflected light. It's thin as a paint, even thinner. And what's reflecting that light is empty space. Well, geez, I think there's empty space between me and everything I'm seeing. Now you're telling me that everything behind what I'm seeing is empty space too? Profound, but true. And there's a reason why it's solid. I mean, I'll explain that to you if you stick around long enough. There's a reason. I can easily explain why, then how can this be empty space, right? I can explain it with, again, grade 6 science, all right? So, but we'll get there. So we live in this reality of reflected light, which reflected light is empty space, and we perceive it through our imagination. And I'm going to show you all of that and more, because that's just the foundation of this spiritual amusement park. In fact, you can skip ahead in fact, I got a book on Amazon that you can buy. Shameless plug, I know, but you can get the entire story of what I'm teaching here in this book. It's called Miracle Making: The Definitive Guide to an Extraordinary Life of Miracles. And you are a miracle maker. You are a spirit having a human experience. And I've already gone over what this reality is, and we're going to delve into it now as a spiritual being having a human experience. I'm so happy you're here. If you like what you've seen so far, subscribe, like, hit the bell, whatever they say. I don't know. Just become a fan, I guess, and I'll be happy to share more as I develop it, and you won't miss a thing. And if you want, just pick up a copy of my book. It's also on Audible. I made a recording of me. I read my book and recorded it and put that up there, so you can get the recording on Audible. Same thing, same book, all that kind of thing. So thank you again for watching. I hope that I've got something sparked that's resonating within you. Don't let what many people do. Oh yeah, I know that now. I feel good about it and all that. Don't let that go, because there's a lot more to it, and your subconscious mind is anchored in a belief system that is limiting you. And that's another whole story again. Do you know what's going on in your subconscious mind? We'll get into it. All the best, and bye for now.